At the very beginning, when I started making a book cover for my EPQ, I wanted to do like a hand-drawn book cover, which featured basically just me being underwater, and that's a reference to one of my later poems in the collection, Crashing Waves, but I ended up not putting it in, even though I did work on the moon in that cover for quite a bit. I didn't put that in because I don't know how to draw faces, I'll be honest. I can draw a lot of stuff, I just cannot draw people or faces very well. But I can do leaves, I can do a lot of flowers, stuff like that. Which is why I guess with my EPQ, my final cover ended up being a reference to one of my poems, which is called Dead Leaves. And that's in the collection. But looking back, like looking at my collection now, I didn't want to use the same book cover. Like, yeah, it's pretty basic. I made it on Canva in like, what, 15 minutes. It didn't take me a lot of time. I wanted to make a book cover that like really showed, I guess, the emotions that are expressed throughout the whole collection, with just like breaking down, and as my collection is called, Falling into the Abyss, I wanted it to embody that feeling, which is why I ended up making my finalized book cover for my APQ, which was a reference to Dead Leaves, and I ended up deciding to make an entirely new book cover based on just that, and I ended up making a whole new design for it, and I started to get a lot of ideas about how I could convey that sort of message through my art. But I ended up doodling a bit of a book cover. I'm probably gonna show it here. But yeah, I was pretty satisfied with it, and when I saw it, I was like, wait a second, this is exactly what I want to do. After I drew like the first 2 drafts or so, I ended up drawing like an actual version of the leaf, and then I started looking at colors on like Adobe Color Wheel. That's basically what I used to choose all my colors for like the color palette and everything. And then I ended up putting all those colors onto like a Google Doc, changing the background, putting a scanned version of like the leaf that I drew, and then I printed it out. Another thing that I want to add is that I also messed around with Illustrator for quite a bit until I realized that I don't really know Illustrator well enough to actually make the book cover with it, so I went ahead with the collage idea. I went to the library, printed it out, and then this is where everything starts. The entire mess. I've already filmed a lot of this process, so we're really just gonna be going back in time like a month ago from when I started like officially making that book cover. You're gonna see me fumble a lot, but in all honesty, I am actually very surprised with the end result. So yep, let's get to it.